Hello, everybody. It's Denise from Dobby Books. Welcome back. So, today I did not go to my library sale. I have a lot of studying I really want to catch up on. So, what I'm going to show you is number one, what I've been reading for the week, just as a catch up, touching base on that. And then the second thing, I do have a couple of books that I did get otherwise that I want to go over with you. All right. So, what am I reading? The one that I've been reading steadily through, obviously for a class, is The Houses of History. This is the book that I'm using for my historiography class. And for those of you who are familiar with, I've gone through the empiricists, the Marxist historians, the annals, historical sociology, quantitative history, which kind of boring for me. It's very mathematically based, very data based, and it's important, but it's definitely not going to be my calling. And we just covered anthropology and ethnohistorians, which is fascinating. And we also studied a bit of post-structuralism early on this semester. So far, so good. And I find this personally, because I enjoy history, I find this very interesting. And maybe some of you would want to look into it simply because it's going to tell you how different historians will research their history, what information that they're going to use for the final narrative that they're going to give you. And what I find is fascinating is if you can read the same story in history, one from the annals, one from the empiricists, for example, same story, but you would see the narrative written differently. You would get different information from each, yet it would be the same. So it's hard to explain, but I think it's really good for helping us take apart the historical information that we're reading. So for those of you who may be interested in how you could possibly do that, for example, this might be a good book to look at. All right, so The Houses of History. Authors are Anna Green and Kathleen Troop. The next thing I'm reading my way through for middle grade March is the second book in the Redwall series, Moss Flower. This is the prequel to the first book, Redwall, and the star of the show is Martin the Brave, the one you hear a lot about in the first book. And this is before the monastery of Redwall had gone up or anything like that. So, but it's a cool story because the bad guys in this one are cats. Lovely. And what's the next one I'm reading? These are the ones that I'm still reading for middle grade March. Tiberius, this week I have not moved forward in this because I had my own studies to do and then my own special reading that I was going to be doing, but I'm still reading Tiberius. And I'm just starting in it. My goodness, I'm still at page 19, but I'll move on. I'll get there. Confronting the Classics. This was recommended by Richard at History Lit, and I'm currently on page 114, and it's a series of literary criticism by Mary Beard of other historians who have written about ancient Rome or ancient Greece. It's a good book. I'm enjoying it. And Mary Beard has, that lovely sense of humor that has you chuckling throughout, so it's a good book. And I believe that is it. Now, I did get a couple of books. The one that just arrived today is going to be it goes with this book. So this is the second book in the His Dark Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman, The Subtle Knife. I haven't started it yet. And this is the graphic novel. This is the one that arrived today of The Subtle Knife. There are only 2 graphic novels for the trilogy so far that I'm aware of. This one and the first one, which is The Golden Compass, at least in the States. And I believe in Britain, the title of the first book in the trilogy is Northern Lights, not The Golden Compass. The next book I got is what Robert G. Reader of Books was reading. I have not started it, but this is something I will eventually be reading, especially right now, because right now for the Christian community, it is the time of Lent. So, Letters to a Doubter. I will be starting this. This is by Paul Claudel. And this is another one that I just got today. Remember that big monster book that had the title of Main Currents of Marxism? It was this just huge white book that was 3 books in that one book. And I said it was just too much for me to read in time to return it to the library on the due date. So I did. I returned the big book to the library, and I've been ordering each of the 3 books individually through eBay. I got book 3. This is book 2. I'm liking these covers. On the eBay, it was advertising a plainer cover, must be a different edition, so I thought that's what I was getting. But this arrived, and I was very, very happy. So I'm hoping that book 1 that I already ordered and it's on its way, I hope it's the same cover. That would be very nice to have a lovely matching set. So this is book 2, and this covers the golden age of Marxism. Book 3 is the breakdown, and book 1 is the founders. And that is it, people. It's a very brief weekend, but that's fine. All I can think about right now is finishing up those sources that I have for my capstone essay, and getting at least 10 pages down before spring break, and I'm going to be gone for that week. So I'm trying to have as little as possible to bring with me on the plane. And I think that's it for those of you who are going to be enjoying a spring break, whether you're teachers or students. Enjoy your time off. Spend some of that time relaxing and some of that time doing a little bit of study so you don't fall too far behind. Thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out with me. I will see you in a few days. Bye-bye.